I'm choosing heaven today. Choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. Oh, I am walking the road of heaven right now. Sing, I'm choosing heaven today. Sing it again. Oh, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Sing, I'm choosing heaven. How about love? Choosing love. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Say, I'm choosing love. How about health? I'm choosing health. I'm choosing health today. I'm choosing health. I'm choosing health today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Say, I'm choosing health today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Saying, I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Saying, I'm choosing heaven today. Choosing heaven today.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
Reverend Andy Anderson in the house.
I am in the house.
Did you say you are the house?
I'm in the house.
In the house. He sure is. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, good morning. And it's pretty darn cool in here compared to what it's been, right? We got 2 air conditions going now. Corey Rennick installed that one, and we can breathe a bit. I'm Kimberly Hawkins still. It's my pleasure to welcome you. I'm still the senior minister here. Thank God for now. I don't mean anything by that, by the way. We're just in a crazy mood. I've opened up this thing about authenticity and being outside the box, and I feel it from everywhere. Nancy Clay did an awesome meditation this morning and invited us not to hide in plain sight. She is not hiding in plain sight, and the invitation is for everybody not to hide in plain sight. Oh man, I just feel it all over the place. It's wonderful. Let's see, what do I want to say? We are a spiritually progressive, radically inclusive faith community, and we do teach spiritual tools to transform personal lives, to lift us all up, and to help make a world that works for all. We invite and welcome you all, no matter where you may happen to be on your own spiritual journey. I don't know if there's anyone in the house for the first time today. Anybody? All right. No, you old timers. There's always a joker, right? Yeah. I'm going to invite you, if you haven't already, to turn your cell phones off or put them in airplane mode. A few people to introduce here. Reverend Bonnie Anderson will be doing our invocation and reading. As I mentioned, Nancy Clay, our practitioner, did the meditation. She's holding high watch, praying throughout the service for everyone's good. Let's see. I just wanted to make another couple of acknowledgments. Our video crew today is Shannon Schnibbe, Corey Rennick, Tom Frederick on sound, and Bill Miner. Can we give this man a little love? Way back when, before COVID, Bill started our video ministry and did an awesome job. Our videos have been a professional look. And then when COVID hit and everybody had to scramble to go online, we were already online, and he has served for years and has just now recently stepped down as head of our video team and nominated Corey Rennick to take over. And Bill obviously is still involved because he's running this camera down here. But thank you, Bill Miner. You are awesome. You are awesome. Yeah. So I think that's it for introductions. We're going to take a collective deep breath right now. Turn it over to Andy, holding our applause after this particular song, so Bonnie can go right into prayer.
Spirit, lead me and guide me. 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 Every day I see in a new way, living my life to the fullest every day. There's nothing sweeter than that smile on my face. I just surrender to that power and love every moment, every day. Spirit, lead me and guide me. Spirit, just keeps on giving me. Spirit, just let it lead me and guide me. Spirit, just keeps on giving me. It's up to me to be that brighter day, because I am that I am. It supports me with yes in every way. So I surrender to that power and love every moment, every day. Ooh, yeah. It's only love. It's all there is, all there'll ever be. It's up to me to know and receive and know there's only one life, love, peace, and harmony. Oh, it's only Spirit living in me. Spirit, lead me and guide me. Spirit, just keeps on giving me. Spirit, just let it lead me and guide me. Spirit, just keeps on giving me. When you find yourself going through the dark night of the soul, just release and let go and know that it's so, and surrender to that power and love every moment, every day. Ooh, yeah. It's only love. See, it's all there is, all there'll ever be. It's up to me to know and believe and know there's only one life, love, peace, and harmony. Oh, it's only Spirit living in me. Spirit, lead me and guide me. Spirit, just keeps on giving me. It's only love. All there is, all there'll ever be. It's up to me. It's only Spirit living in me.
Spirit, lead me and guide me every moment of every day. When I remember that there is only one power in the universe. We are all connected to this power. It is who and what we are. And when I remember this, it becomes easier to let Spirit lead me and guide me. For we are expressing our own unique selves in a most beautiful way. And when we become still and listen to the soft, still voice, we awaken to the truth that we are perfect beings of the divine. How could we be anything else but perfection? We remember this and we celebrate this. And we know today that we open our hearts and our minds to the beautiful message that Reverend Kimberly is allowing to come through her from this spirit that leads and guides her. Today is a special day, a blessed day, and you felt it when you walked in the door, because this is a place of love and acceptance. This is a place where we can express our own unique, quirky selves, and people love us anyway. So we express our own beautiful authenticity this morning, and we greet God in each person we see. And I release this now in great gratitude. I am so grateful for this gathering, so grateful for the music and all of the things that come together to make this an inspiring, love-filled service. So I release this now. It is good and it is very good. And please join me in saying, and so it is. Good morning, everyone. It feels so good to be here. It feels like a while since Andy and I have been here, but I think it was last month sometime. So it's wonderful to see all your beautiful faces and to be back. It's really a privilege. Ben and Malachi just returned from the CSL camp, and Laura Stewart was there, and Sophie, and they just had a wonderful time. They had a wonderful heart-opening time. It was very hot in the bunks. That's what Malachi told me. It was warm, but and they appreciate your support in helping them to go. So this morning I have a reading from, you may know the book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. It has really beautiful readings every day. And this one is called Being Shaped by Others. The whole world could praise Sung Jun Soo, and it wouldn't make him exert himself. The whole world could condemn him, and it wouldn't make him mope. He drew a clear line between the internal and the external. Now this is Mark Nepo speaking. These words were spoken by Chuang Tzu in the 4th century BCD. I read them 15 years ago and taped them to my closet so I could be reminded not to let the opinion of others shape me. I have changed a great deal since then. What I do, where I live, who I am, many things have come and gone. The closet to which Chuang Tzu's words were taped is holding someone else's clothes. But the words are in my heart, though I still struggle not to be shaped by what others think. This is at once the clearest of spiritual intents and yet the hardest to stay true to. How to stay open to what others feel and not to what they think. We cannot live without being affected by others, but we are only real when we let truth and love shape us from within. Our want to be liked, our want to avoid conflict, our want to be understood, all these traits tease us away from taking the voice within seriously. Though the earth is touched by everything alive, it never stops turning around the fire at its center. And though we are touched by the stories of strangers, and though we are touched, by the stories of strangers and the far-off sounds of birds lost in winds, we find our way by following the Spirit's voice at our center. Too much is lost in waiting for someone else to tell us what moves us is real. Thank you.
When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. At any time I can redefine, get a new paradigm, let myself grow and grow. See, there's only one life, that life is divine. I know it, I claim it, it's mine. I let myself see it starts with me. It's perfection that I am. When I see the truth, know the truth, be the truth as me, I release and let go, give love and know. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. At any time I can redefine, get a new paradigm, let myself grow and grow. When I love myself, when I love myself, just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. And when I decide to change my mind, get a new paradigm, let my love grow and grow. And here's the truth. When I know the truth, it has to produce the results I'm looking for. It's done unto me as I believe. Possibilities all I see. When I see the best, know the best, be the best I can be, then I know that I know that I know that I know that I know. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. At any time I can redefine, get a new paradigm, let myself grow and grow. When I love myself, when I love myself just the way I am, oh, I can free my power wherever I am. And when I decide to change my mind, get a new paradigm, let my love grow and grow. Let my love, let it grow and grow. It's all I am. Let it grow and grow. It's all you are. Let it grow and grow. Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow and grow.
Love me that Andy Anderson. Thank you. High five, my friend. Yeah, wow. Well, this is kind of week 2 of Kimberly Unchained, in case you weren't here last week. I decided if I was going to talk about authenticity, I was going to try to be authentic. So our theme for the month of July is authenticity at all costs. And I was thinking about that on my way here this morning, and I thought, well, that's kind of funny, because it's not like there are any true costs to being authentic. The true costs are when we're not authentic, when we try to be what we think other people want to be, right? Or we hide our light. The costs of being authentic are things like, yeah, maybe not everybody approves of us. And so what? You know, as Eleanor Roosevelt said, what other people think of me is none of my business. So the costs can be a little bit of fear, breaking out of the box when we think we have to be just so. Those kind of costs. But you know, are they really costs? I think that the advantages of being authentic are that we get to know that we're here on purpose. We're here the way God created us to be. We're here to do what we're here to do, and all of that good stuff. So last week, my message was authenticity, the only way to God. Because I think that's true. I mean, we each were designed with a unique set of talents and capabilities and truths, and we're each unique. And when we're fighting that, when our ego takes over and wants us to be something we're not close to the divine. You know, when we're here fulfilling the purpose we came to be. Now, I need to make a little caveat here. Ernest Holmes and Charles Fillmore were very clear that God's will is not different than ours. Holmes said God's will is for the highest and best good for all of us. So it's not like we're here and we're supposed to do God's will and we don't get to do what we want. What we don't get to do necessarily is what our little ego, our afraid, timid, scaredy cat ego, or our puffed up, you know, trying to puff up, prove we're okay ego wants us to do. Our will is truly aligning with the will of God for us. And it's not like we're circumscribed in a certain box. We can fulfill our role here in many ways. Does that make sense to you all? Yeah. Okay. So last week I talked about how many of us get imbued, if not all of us, with this idea that there's something wrong with us by well-meaning people or perhaps abusive people, and we walk around and then we don't feel like we're worthwhile or we're not good enough, and I'm just going to recap just a bit here. And so as a result, we decided we needed to either, like I did, work really hard to be a perfectionist, good luck with that, and prove I'm okay every day of my life. That's a drag. Or we hide our light. We decide we're not, you know, we're going to be kind of inconspicuous fly on the wall so we don't risk anything, risk disapproval, risk failure. Or some of us become cantankerous and we're angry and rebellious and we're kind of like a, you know, using the third finger attitude toward life. None of which helps. None of which helps us feel truly worthwhile, right? It doesn't work. So this week, my talk title is, if I can remember it, Hide and Seek. Because we really have to start this journey of being more and more authentic by being authentic with ourselves, by being radically honest with ourselves. Because we can convince ourselves that we're something else, either that we're worthless. I'll tell a little story about Ernest Holmes in a minute about that. Some of us were wounded by past religious experiences, right? So we can either feel like we're worthless, or like I said, our ego can puff ourselves up, and inside we don't feel worthwhile, but we're trying to present a good front to the world. Know anybody like that? Yeah, even public figures, right? Not mentioning any names. So where was I going here? This is the danger of being authentic. I might lose my way, and you're just going to have to be, please, patient and kind with me. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you this story. You've probably heard it before. Ernest Holmes, our founder of Science of Mind, grew up in a household where the Bible was read frequently, but they didn't teach an angry and punishing God. They taught a loving God. And one day, they had gone to a service, a Sunday service, that was a hell and fire and brimstone service. And the preacher had said, "You're worms of the dust and you'll return to the dust." And on the way home, Ernest Holmes' father, there were 8 boys, bless her, you know, his mother's heart. On the way home, he stopped the horse and buggy and pulled over to the side and turned around to the boys and said, "Boys, that was a pack of lies you heard today. You are not worms of the dust. You are children of the Most High, and don't ever forget that." So that's what we teach in New Thought. And if we were wounded by other faith traditions, you know, we need to start to let that go. We're not worthless. God didn't make junk. We've heard that a million times, right? Okay. So this journey of becoming more authentic to ourselves, for ourselves, you know, power is a God quality, right? It's one of the God qualities. And we are meant to be powerful, not from the ego, not from trying to control something, but to let that power move through us. And I've been experiencing this since I made this intention. Intentions are powerful stuff. We know that, right? It's been more fun to create a talk. It's been more fun to give a talk. I don't feel like I'm in a box. I bet all of you can think of boxes that you have felt in the past or in the current situation where you've been placed. Here's one of mine. Do you ever have something said to you when you're young that you never forget? Word for word, you never forget it. When I was an adolescent, my mom, my dear, sweet mom who loved her children and wanted more than anything else to be a good mom, didn't see the sexual abuse like I talked about last week because she couldn't bear to, I think, that was happening in the household because she couldn't bear to think that was happening on her watch. Anyway, she was sweet, she was devoted. She said to me when I was an adolescent, "You walk like a farmer." Now, I don't know if there's anything wrong with walking like a farmer, but it sure sounded like, from the tone of her voice, that something was wrong with that, right? And when I think of it, I think it was, my mom came from a working class background. Her daddy was a stonemason, beautiful craftsman, and a cemetery caretaker. She married my dad, who was kind of blue blood New Englander, came from a lot of money, but the family had lost the fortune in the stock market crash of '29. When he was very, very young. And so she grew up with this class deficiency in her own head. Like, she never had a lot of new clothes like her friends, and she wanted me to be raised like a lady, I guess, you know, and was trying to put me in a little, she wasn't trying to put me in a box, she was trying to encourage me to be gracious, I guess, and demure and polite. And I did walk like a farmer. I used to walk around like this, you know, like, and you can see me. That's my personality today. I'm determined. Viv will tell you that. I walk around the house like that. I scare the cats sometimes because I walk so fast. Really, I walk too fast. So I want to let go of that because who cares? And she talked about charm school. She never sent me, thank God. Anybody here ever go to charm school? Oh, my. Oh my, so what she said, and you can tell me if this is true in charm school, that they would teach you to walk with a book on your head, right? Yeah, well, you know what? F that, right? Because it's one more way that women get put in their place and don't, you know, act from their power. And we all have that power. It's not our personal power, it's not our ego's power, it's God power. And we see it in Andy, we saw it in Nancy Clay this morning, we saw it in Bonnie, and we all have it. It's our birthright. So when we set an intention, as I have this week, and I see it happening for all of us in this community, I'm not the only one here, what happens is synchronicity happens, right? Now, coincidence happen. I think it was Albert Einstein that said coincidence is God remaining anonymous. And Carl Jung, the great psychologist, said coincidences in his life were things that happened that weren't so much about the personal, but the connection to the infinite. So here's what happened to me this week. I am very connected to my nighttime dreams. I dreamt this week that I was in a house. I was preparing a cup of instant coffee, which I don't drink instant coffee unless I'm camping. And I looked up, and the ceiling was cracked and drooping and about to fall in, about to cave in. It was scary, and I went, oh. And I walked into the next room in my dream, which was, I think, the dining room, and I looked up, and the same thing, the ceiling was about to collapse. So what I do in the morning is I journal if I've dreamt like that and I remember, and I use a wonderful book by Betty Bethards. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it. It's simply called The Dream Book. It's a book about symbols. So you can probably guess a ceiling can represent limitations. We often talk about the glass ceiling for minorities or women, right, in the corporate world. It can also represent protection. I mean, a ceiling is part of a house that gives us protection from the elements, right? So I'm thinking, oh boy, my ceiling is cracking. It's about to fall in. That's a good thing, right? Because I get to rise and not have to accept limitations, and I don't need protection. The only protection we need is from the divine. That prayer of protection from the unity tradition is one of my all-time favorites. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me wherever I am. God is, right? That's the only protection we need. But boy, our little egos, they get upset sometimes. They don't want to step out. They don't want to break the glass ceiling. They're afraid. So let's talk a little bit about letting go. You know, Jesus said in Matthew, I don't know if I'll be quoting directly, but it was something like, "You are the light of the world." People don't light a lamp and put it under a basket, right? They put it on a stand so that it gives light to everyone in the house and it gives light to everyone in darkness. And that's what happens when we allow our own light to shine, yes? It gives light to anybody in our inner circle that we live with or our close friends, and it begins to shine light to anybody who is in darkness. So I think if Jesus told us that, we can probably pretty well decide it's a good thing to let our light shine. You know, other synchronicities that happened. This week, I started the Poetry as Spiritual Practice group on Tuesday mornings, and thank you to everybody that came. We had a delightful time, and I invite you all to consider coming if you can. But it's interesting, the poem I chose fits into what's happening to me this week, and I didn't realize it at the time because I chose it the week before, and I chose it before I really worked on the bullet points from my talk. So I'm going to read this to you. And I guess I was thinking of apologizing to the people in their group, but I'm not going to, because I figure you won't mind hearing it again. They're shaking their heads, Ray and Leslie. This was wisdom from the 14th century Sufi poet Hafiz, one of our favorites here. It's called "The Seed Cracked Open." There's that cracking again. The ceiling's cracking, the seed is cracking. All right. He writes, "It used to be that when I would wake in the morning, I would with confidence say, 'What am I going to do today?' That was before the seed cracked open. Now Hafiz is certain. There are two of us housed in this body, doing the shopping together in the market and tickling each other while fixing the evening's food. Now when I awake, all the internal instruments play the same music. God, what love mischief can we do for the world today?" I love that. So the seed was cracked open. There are two of us housed. Isn't that the truth? I mean, maybe not even two, but me as God, me as part of the divine, right? Me as an individual expression of the divine. What would happen if we lived our life that way? That when we woke up in the morning, we asked, okay. And I love the line tickling. In this process of the poetry as spiritual practice, during one of the readings of the poem, everyone's encouraged to listen for a shimmer. We did that with the 23rd Psalm a while ago in service. A shimmer, what line or word stands out for you? And for a lot of people, it was that word tickle. God's tickling me while I make the dinner, because I really believe, and I'm experiencing, that when we live as God created us, when we're willing to stand in the power of the divine moving through us, it's fun. It's light. It's not as heavy. We get tickled. Isn't that great? I love it. I love it. So let me just check my bullet points here. The A Course in Miracles tells us all true pleasure comes from doing God's will, because not doing it is a denial of self. And I love that. It's not I'm doing God's will, like I said, because it's something I really, I guess I got to talk nuance here. Because I heard Reverend Bonnie say just a few minutes ago, she was led to teach a class she's going to tell you about soon, which is really timely. And her first reaction was, no, right, Bonnie? It was no. So sometimes we resist God's will, but when we follow it, it always turns out for the best, right? It lifts us. So I guess what I was going to say is, doing God's will isn't onerous. It's not, oh, I got to do this and I really don't want to. In the end, in the beginning, it might feel like, no, no, no. And we talked about divine guidance the other day. One of the S's in divine guidance is it's sustained. It doesn't let us go, usually. It doesn't let us off the hook. All right. So, all true pleasure comes from doing God's will, asking in the morning, what shall we do today? I'm going to let you guide me, God. The other quote I love from A Course in Miracles is, God is speaking to me all throughout the day. How do we hear God? Gotta get quiet, right? We hear God in the silence. Learn to be quiet. His voice, her voice, is heard in the stillness. And I've shared with you before, and maybe it's true for you, after a night's sleep, when we're kind of in the netherworld, we're not here obsessing or thinking about our physical life, that's when I receive downloads. Anybody else? And we're all different. We're all going to be a little different. But in the morning, when I first wake up, I get that guidance because I'm open. And I think for all of us to remember, gosh, we've talked about this, and I know most of you know, to get still during the day is also a good thing. To ask, to connect, to be aware of that presence that's always willing to guide us. The other synchronicity that happened for me this week, when I've shared before that when I went to Jinshin years ago, and there are points on the body, I would frequently have a stiff neck, she would work on me, and usually Jinshin, it's acupressure, it's usually wonderful and relaxing, but this would kill my neck. And I realized, this is Carol, my Jinshin practitioner, would always say, I'd say, why is that so painful? What's going on? And she would say, that's the thy will be done point. In other words, I was into my will, my ego's will, and son of a gun, I just had this insight that doing this practice we're all involved in now, if you choose to do it, being authentic, asking for God's will, knowing it's our will, this neck is getting better. Synchronicity? Coincidence? I don't think so, right? But again, to be aware, if we're not in alignment with our true selves, chances are there's some, because of the mind-body connection, there's some physical symptom going on for us. And oftentimes, if we can recognize that and step out of that, the physical symptom doesn't need to be there. It's kind of like a warning light. It's trying to tell us something. And if we move through that and get divine guidance, oftentimes that physical symptom can let go. Now, I think the other thing I wanted to talk about today was addictions. Because I think our addictions are signs when we're not willing to be our true selves, when we're kind of lying to ourselves. So if the talk title is hide and seek, how do we hide our true selves from ourselves? We've talked about how we try to hide it from others, right? By puffing up or hiding or trying to be perfect. But really, if we're going to be authentic, it has to start with inner authenticity, getting real and honest with ourselves. And boy, there's no program I've ever encountered more than the 12-step program that helps us do that. So whether we're addicted like I have been most of my life to trying to prove I'm okay and be perfect and be good, or whether we're addicted to food, alcohol, drugs, shopping, gambling, any others you want to name? Internet, gaming, right? That's a way that we're not being honest with ourselves. We're trying to hide from what's really bugging us, and we need to get honest. And so I was just looking. I've never sustained a long relationship with 12 steps. I know a lot of you have, and there are a lot of people who come to New Thought churches because they're encouraged to, relate to a higher power, the God of their understanding, and then practice it and do things to maintain that connection. So a lot of people come to us from that 12-step tradition. In fact, I'm sure she wouldn't mind my sharing it with you because she makes no bones about it. Our current spiritual leader of the Centers for Spiritual Living, Reverend Sonny Cantrell Smith, who a lot of you met at my ordination because she was my mentor when I was a licentiate minister. She came from my sister's community, Namaste. Reverend Sonny comes from a 12-step background and did a lot of teaching about 12 steps. Now, 12 steps teaches us what? The first step, I'm powerless, right? So I'm thinking, or maybe you're thinking, is that really what we teach, that I'm powerless? But I think what we need to realize is that I, my God self, am not powerless, but my little ego self surely is. It thinks it knows what it's doing. It might puff itself up. It might be in denial that I have an addiction, but it is powerless against the addiction. We need the help of that divine presence to help us shift. So, you know, I guess this is the journey from going from fake authenticity. You know, I'm really feeling empty inside, so I'm eating too much, or I'm drinking too much, or I'm shopping too much, or I'm on the internet too much, to try to ease that feeling and to really take a look at what's going on. Am I reaching for Doritos and chocolate and God knows what? For me, sometimes it's crackers, you know, something salty. Because we need to do healing. We need to work on our self-acceptance. Beautiful song that you sang. I love myself just the way I am. Because the truth is, in God's eyes, we are loving, lovable forever. And that is the only truth about us. So there's no blame or shame here. You know, if we're going to do an inventory, as I think it's the fourth step, somebody can tell me if I'm right, but, you know, an inventory of where we're off, we got to get honest. And I'm losing my track again, but that's okay. Oh, yeah. And the point is not to shame ourselves or feel guilty, because that doesn't help at all. It's just to get real, to get self-honest, to make amends if we're hurting anyone else in our lives. You know, wouldn't it be something? How many of you, I'll raise my hand, you don't have to raise your hand, but just think, how many of you ever have told a little lie or made a little exaggeration because you wanted to look good? I certainly have, right? What if when we did that, we went to the person or people and said, you know, Melanie, when I said such and such yesterday, I wasn't telling the truth. I'm sorry. How would that open up the ability for any of us to get real, to be honest, and to make it okay? Because typically the person you tell that will say, or think to themselves, I've done that. Thank you. You know, thank you for being real. So just looking at these 12 steps, I did write them down. Admit we're powerless, that our egos are powerless over this addiction. That know that there's a power greater than us that's in us and wants to be us and lead us like that seed cracked open. Turn our lives over to that power. Do a fearless inventory, right? And admit to others. Allow God or Holy Spirit. You know, the 12 steps say allow God to remove the defects of character. I'm not fond of that exact language. If it works for you, fine. But I think it's the defects of our ego, the false thinking, the false beliefs of the ego that we need to ask help to remove. Ask for help. Make a list of people we've harmed. A while back, we talked about making a list of people that have helped us and mentored us and to give gratitude. Well, in this case, people we've harmed, and to make an apology, to come clean. Wouldn't that feel good to just be clean instead of carrying around guilt? Let's see. To continue to be self-honest, to seek through prayer and meditation, to improve our conscious contact with God. Well, isn't that what we do here? We seek to improve our conscious contact with the divine. That's what Centers for Spiritual Living and Unity Church are all about. And then carrying that awakened message to others. So again, I think as we become willing to be authentic, to look at the ways our ego is making us hide our real selves, as we become willing to make amends and to be honest and open, we do spread that message, don't we? So this week, I'm just encouraging all of us and all of you, as I continue to do, to think about that cracked ceiling. What's the ceiling in your life? A limitation you've accepted, perhaps since you're very young, maybe not? What's your need for protection that isn't really necessary? Where in your life are you hiding and not seeking to show your true, divine, powerful self because you feel like you need to protect yourself? And then to work on, through help, and we're going to talk about community, I think it's next week. We don't do this work alone. 12-steppers don't do their healing alone, right? They have sponsors, they have groups. There's a group that meets here every Saturday night, as a matter of fact. So to look at those places where we want to break through a ceiling that no longer serves us, whether it's a limit or whether it's a need for protection, and to be our outrageous, delightful, enjoying and enjoyable and powerful, light-filled selves. Does that sound good? I think so. I've probably forgotten something in my bullet points, but I'm going to forgive myself, and I'm going to go into prayer. So let's take a breath together. Thank you, Andy. So what I know, what we know, the God of my understanding is a presence, a power, a life that is everywhere present, always. It's a power for good. It's a presence of infinite, unconditional love, of peace, of order, of supply, abundance, of freedom. It is all-knowing. Through God, through Spirit, through this source, all things are possible. All things. Any ceiling can be cracked and allowed to dissipate. Any limit can be eliminated. And I know that I'm born of this stuff. This is the truth for each one here. If there's nothing else but the divine, then guess what? We got to be made of it. We are made of God's stuff, and we're here to create and to express all that God is. Remember that quote from the Course in Miracles? Nothing, the truth about you is so magnificent that anything unworthy of God is unworthy of you. Let's take that in. Not in a puffed up, egoic way or I'm better than anybody else way, but it's a humble understanding that God is right about me, and if I have feelings that I'm worthless or less than, that's my ego talking. That's my arrogant ego talking. And so I bless everyone here, everyone listening online, including myself, on this path of becoming inner authentic, becoming radically honest with ourselves as the first step to showing ourselves authentically in the world. No more hiding. Let's seek instead to know the truth about us and to seek help in doing so if we need it. I know that we are supported in this, that intentions are powerful, that there is a spirit and an aspect of spirit called the law that responds when we set an intention, that responds when we say a prayer. So just knowing that if any of us need to see a practitioner, seek prayer, share perhaps a dark secret with someone they trust, that this week we shed, we crack those ceilings, we break through. We show courage because God is here in our hearts. God is watching over us. God is moving through us, and that's the truth of everyone else here and everyone else we see. So celebrating this, celebrating the end of the hiding game and the beginning of the seeking game, the beginning of being radically authentic. I give thanks knowing that we are so supported and that we support each other in this process. Yes? I just released this word knowing it's heard, it's already answered, and we say together, so it is, amen.
Every day I'm so grateful, thankful. Oh, it's a new day on my horizon. All that I am, all I can be. Oh, it's just a gratitude shining through me. Nature's grace to me. Playfulness to be. I keep on loving myself so I can see there's only beauty in you, beauty in me. Oh, let's all stand up together and let the whole world see. So grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. My life is so good, precious and good. See, with every breath I take, with every step I take, it takes me higher on my path of awakening. See, through the eyes of love, there's only one of us. So let's be grateful for all that's been given us. No need to live in fear. All of life is His soul. Come on, let's love and let the love come shining in. smiling face, his warm embrace is all. Let's all stand up and let the whole world know. So grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Oh. Everyone say it with me. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. Oh yeah, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. Oh, so grateful, so thankful every moment of the day. So grateful. Yes, I am.
Andy Anderson.
Ooh, I like this piano.
I'm so grateful Andy has decided over and over again to show up as his authentic self. So I'm going to invite Renee and Vivian forward, our ushers this morning, as we prepare to give our tithes and offerings. And as always, feel free to bless the basket if you give online. And those watching us online, if you go to our website, cslroguevalley.org, if you want to give us a gift, we would love that. Thank you for your continued support. Let's say our affirmation together. You want to say it together? Ready? Graciously, I give from a place of love, knowing that as I give, so do I richly receive. So it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Corey Rennick, you have that mic handy? All right. The wireless mic handy? Yeah. So, like we did last week, I'd just like to open it up for just a couple minutes. You don't? Okay, all right. Well then, okay, then let's do this. If there's anything that you intend to take away from today's service, message, music, something that you can apply to your own life, something that had meaning for you, could you briefly share it here, and I will repeat it because we don't have the wireless mic today. Ellen. Nice. So Ellen said, I got that I can get up every morning and give myself the gift of understanding, and that I can continue to do that all day. Beautiful, beautiful. Anyone else? Yes, Rick. Say that nice and loud. Okay, can somebody repeat that for me? To be and moved? Oh, to be and move from who I truly am, Rick. Yes, thank you. Anyone else? Yolanda, to wake up and say to myself and my higher power, what kind of love mischief can we get into today? Yeah. One more, anybody? Yes, okay, two more. Jordan and Patricia. Why don't you go first, Patricia?
Brush my teeth right after I eat my evening dessert, so I don't spend all that time worrying that I have to.
Brush. Hey, practical. This is practical spirituality. Brush my teeth after I eat my evening dessert so I don't have to spend all that time worrying about doing it. All right. And feeling guilty, even more so. Jordan.
Oh, I love how you inspired us to be unchained. Unchained.
He loves how I inspired you all to be unchained. I invite you to be. It's a lot of fun to be unchained. It really is. You know, somebody quoted, I guess it was Nancy, she did a beautiful reading out of the Science of Mind, an old Science of Mind magazine, Howard Thurman, who said, don't ask what the world needs. You probably know this quote. Ask what makes you come alive and do it. And if brushing your teeth so you're not worrying about it and feeling guilty about it right away, then do it. A little thing like that as opposed to even a bigger thing. All right. All right, one more, Sal, go ahead. You can't find any more about yourself unless you get outside your comfort zone. I have a picture I posted of Marla Estes, who gave a beautiful, I'll talk about it in a minute, movie here on Friday about getting outside of our comfort zone in terms of bridging the divide too. All right, I saw a couple more hands. Go ahead. Yeah, Will. The cracking open of the egg or the seed is not threatening. It's an opening to channel. Yeah. Go ahead, Karen.
I am a wizard. What you see is what you get.
And what was the first part? What was the first part? I am?
I'm a WYSIWYG.
All right, Karen. I'm a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. All right. To all the WYSIWYGs in the world. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you for playing with me. So we do have quite a few announcements. I wanted to first acknowledge, how many of you were here Friday evening when Marla Estes presented that movie? Oh my gosh, you guys. If you can, I think you can access it online. Let's see, Divided We Fall. She did a presentation and we showed the movie, and it was a group of people from red and blue perspectives who came together for a whole weekend and got to know one another and dropped, went outside their comfort zone, Sal, to talk and respectfully listen to each other. And it was so powerful, so very, very powerful. Loved it, loved it, loved it. There's a couple pictures on our community Facebook page. Other things coming up. We need a volunteer. As I explained last week, Greg Stewart has moved into other dimensions of helping us, including fixing the roof recently and not doing coffee. So Terry Mershon Samuelson is doing coffee when she's in town, but she and her hubby travel a lot. So we need someone else who's willing to be the substitute coffee maker. If that calls to you, please let me. Okay, Sal? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sal. That was easy. We also are going to need a web hosting, a web updater, because Tamara is letting go of that. So be thinking about who might be able to do that for us. Kids Spree, as I explained last week, is starting up again. This is a wonderful program where people take kids shopping for school clothes and supplies whose families can't afford to outfit them. There's a sign up, I guess there's a application in the social hall. You've got to fill out if you can afford, if you are able to afford the $5 fee for a background check. That's helpful. There will be a mandatory training. There are 3 different options in early August in an evening about how to do this, and it's just those of you who have done it before, I know, really enjoyed that way to give back. Poetry is Spiritual Practice is continuing to happen every Tuesday morning with me at 10 to 11:30. It's a drop-in group. Come whenever you can. It's awesome. Tai Chi happens at 11:30 after poetry on Tuesday. The Habitat for Humanity All Faith Build is Thursday. How many are signed up? We're going to go build a house for a really well-deserving family in Ashland, 8 to 2 instead of 9 to 3 because of the heat. I will send out a reminder to you all, and thank you for signing up. Northwest Seasonal Workers Association is having their annual luau. We have partnered with them for years. It is their 48th anniversary celebration, 6 p.m. July 20th in Fashion Park in Central Point. And if you can't attend, they also always welcome donations. So just write a check and leave it here. Rev Stephanie Clark is going to be presenting a movie, In Our Right Minds. I'm just going to give you the podium up there, Steph.
Good morning. So on Friday, the 26th of July, we're going to be showing a movie here called In Our Right Minds. It's a movie that's been made by a friend of mine, Dale Allen, and it's a movie about how the patriarchy took over from the goddess religions of our ancient past, and how, as an evolving society, we're now beginning to bring the balance back. So in our right minds is all about functioning in partnership, masculine and feminine functioning in partnership, and both bringing our strength to that relationship. So I want to just say that it's for all beings, and I want to particularly invite the men who are here today, because sometimes in our feminist past, we have done male bashing, we have been angry, we've been angry for 5,000 years as women. So some men have experienced that and might be feeling a little tentative about attending a movie like this. So I want to invite you, and you'll see that Dale Allen does not male bash. She's really presenting the information so that we can see how the past has brought us to this place, and then how we can move together in partnership with each other rather than having an imbalance of power in our society and in our own minds. Thank you.
And tickets are $10?
Oh, yeah, sorry, thank you. Tickets are $10, and you can buy them on the website. I think you can also get them today, and we'll give you a little receipt if you have your $10 today. So Friday, the 26th of July, 7 o'clock. Thank you. And do you have a question? No. Okay.
7 o'clock. Okay. Thank you, Rev Steph, for bringing that to us. Now, the day after July 26th, Saturday, the July 27th, our own board president, Kathy Green, is going to be teaching a radical forgiveness, powerful workshop. Kathy.
How many of you have ever tried to drive your car with the emergency brake on? You can move it a little, but it's not very effective. Well, unforgiveness, resentment, and beliefs based on fears are that to you. You can move forward, but you can't move forward very effectively. And radical forgiveness will help you release those beliefs and fears. I forget what I was going to say next. So we're having a workshop. It's coming up. It's an emergency. Look at, does anybody notice the chaos in the world right now? It's a gift to us to release those emergency brakes and get our power back so we can create a world that works for everyone. And so be here and learn. If you want to see a preview of it, I did at the Metaphysical Library, I did an introduction. You can go online and check that out. Also, the library's offering scholarships to anybody who's struggling and financially and needs to heal.
So Kathy, how much and when?
Oh, it is, not this.
Saturday the 27th.
Saturday the 27th, 10 to 4, here.
Bring a lunch?
Bring a lunch or go to lunch. Yeah, we'll work all that out.
And what's the cost?
The cost is, I don't remember, $50 in advance and $60 at the door.
No one turned away.
No one turned away, and let me know if you need a scholarship.
Thank you. Yeah. Bonnie Anderson. Reverend Bonnie got that call to teach a class because Rev Steph's class ends at the end of the month. And here's another one that's very timely. Reverend Bonnie. Whoops. Well, you just got unchained. You're unchained. That's the power here. Oh boy, can I get this? Maybe you can just, there you go. There you go. Thank you.
So when I was meditating the other day down by the river, Spirit said, you need to do a class in August. I'm like, class in August? That's summer. Forget it. I'm not, anyway. I had to say yes. And so it's called Fear is Nothing to Be Afraid of. And, you know, right now with global warming and all of the things that are happening politically and all of the anger and all of the upheaval going on, I think it's a really good time for us to look at fear. What is fear? Trying to get rid of fear causes more fear. So we're going to use this book loosely, When Fear Speaks, Listen, by Dennis Merritt Jones, which is a great book. A lot of it, we're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how we deal with fear, what our fears are, how to quiet them. And it says, listen to the voice of fear. If you don't run from it, there are many lessons to be learned. So it's going to be on Zoom Tuesdays in August, starting August 8th, 4:30 to 6:30. And this is the book we'll use. So if any questions, grab me after. There's a sign-up sheet.
Thank you, Bonnie. Woo! So just a couple of quickies. As you probably know, you can sign up for our newsletter, our e-newsletter in Bosworth Hall. You can submit prayer requests. Right now, we still have a box in the back for CSL and a box in there for Unity, but our practitioner lead, Reverend Kim Bebo, has designed a new prayer form that's united. So we're going to come together and have one prayer box soon. Yeah. Prayer practitioners meet after our snack today at about noon. And I think that's it. Everybody invited to join us for soup, Michael Sunday's wonderful soup, and coffee after service. I think that's it. So practitioners and ministers who are willing to serve, come on up. And they are available after service for a quick, what we call 5-minute miracle. Don't leave here with a heavy heart. They will pray knowing truth for you or someone you care about. Let's turn it back over to Andy Anderson.
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. Oh, you are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. Oh, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, oh, you shine, and you shine so bright. For the world, we are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. Showing up, oh, we are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. Oh, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, oh, we shine, and we shine so bright. We shine. We shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine.